Alright, so this is where I'm at. I'm making progress on my addition to my house, and as you can see, we've got some trusses up here. We've got 2x6 walls in, so this is a load-bearing 2x6 wall down through here. Plumbing for a shower and tub on one side, and then a complete 3/4 bath here with a shower stall. The wood here on the ground is not just laying here for a purpose. We just didn't, I didn't want to frame this wall in just yet. Probably get it framed perhaps today. We'll see what happens. I really want to put trusses up, but there's certain things in certain orders that go on. So I think part of my realization about building this is that a lot of it seems pretty easy to do. You go, all right, and then you make a wall like this right here. It's 2x6 framing. You have a pressure treated footer or sill plate, and you've got your upper, your top cap and everything going on, and you go, okay, that's no big deal. You go mark your 16-foot centers and pretty much put everything in and see what goes on. That seems easy, but because you have no experience, most people can do this when you really get down to it. I'm by no means a construction expert. I've done a little bit of plumbing, but not as a full-fledged professional. I wasn't an amateur. I worked with somebody, with my dad. We had a plumbing company. We did repipes and fixes and things like that, and you learn things along the way. I helped my dad build an addition on his house before, but that was decades ago. And you watch things, observe, and you pick up and go, I could do this, or whatever. And you go, a lot of it's not really rocket science, but really part of it is the experience of doing it before, to know what to look for. And the concrete doesn't look the greatest here because I poured it myself, and that's the reality. Is that I had quotes of about $6,000, almost $7,000 to pour all of the slab. Come back a couple days before trying to start that, and the guy goes and increases his bid by $3,000. And then I get other people. I tried to have somebody come in and help me build the forms and do the footers, and they got it wrong, and I made assumptions because I thought my measurements were correct. And what I found out is that when we come down to it, here is the existing edge to the east of the house, and I've got, obviously I can't pour my foundation outside that. So if I look at this as one of my lines that I have to maintain, which I have, I run into an issue because my plans, and here's my plans, they call for instance, here a 35/6 from, this is my east wall, to here, and these are my largest trusses that come across on this point. This over here was pretty easy, that you hit this, and with my trusses they made them a little long, not by request, but they just went by this measurement here, 18/6, and that was from outside to inside, so they make them effectively 19 feet. They made these exactly 35/6, and the problem I'm running against is that I assumed that my concrete pour is correct, and I thought it was pretty good. I was doing my measurements, it was pretty square. I thought I had the right things going, but my reality is this, that when I did my measurements for this part of the slab and set my plumbing up and everything, we did everything. We thought we were in a reasonable place. And my problem is this, is that I started this wall back over here and measured backwards and got my dimension for where this load-bearing wall is. All right, so now I neglected to measure from this wall over to this one, and my measurement now is 35 feet 10. So when I look at my truss here, my truss is really, when we look at the true inside load-bearing part of it, is 35.6 across. I can sheet it and get to probably 35.8 or so, so I'm gonna have to move around a little bit. So for me today, that's my fight, is to get the rest of the large trusses up and make adjustments so that I can have that happen. So effectively my mistake, and I didn't even realize I was making a mistake, is that this specific wall that's right here is, and you can see with my posts or pins, whatever you want to call them, that go into the concrete to try to help solidify the wall, that I really can't move this wall. There's not much room there. I can't fudge it out, say 2 inches. There's just not enough room to do it. And then obviously I don't want to fudge that wall over there. I could move it an inch or something like that. But what I've got to do is work my truss a little bit. This wall right here has a little bit of a lean angle to it, so the gap that's up there, I'm going to pull that out with the top cap, move it in, and I'm going to get my wall to be a little bit more vertical by doing a couple different things. And I'm flexing the wall down there a bit too, because we want to get the walls as perfectly perpendicular to the ground as possible. When I do these couple of different things between my fudge factor with the truss, and then secondly getting the walls a little bit straighter, then I can get my trusses to set far more correctly. So it's just before Christmas right now in Arizona. It's easy to work outside. It's going to be 75 degrees, so I'll spend the most of the day today trying to get this to work appropriately. Again, I learn as I go along. Some of the stuff seems very logical about what to do, and other things you go, I wish I had known that before I started, and I could have made an adjustment. You know, I can show this down here. If I wanted to, I probably could pull this wall, say an inch or two. I have room because of where my pins are to solidify the wall. I can drill new holes, do that, pop this top cap up over here, and make an adjustment. That probably would be one of the better things I could do. See, I still have plenty of room. I'm sure if a professional carpenter saw this, they would go and say, oh, that's bad. But I did ask the inspector to come out, and she looked at things, and she really did make comments on some of the stuff. So she's working with me pretty good, and we'll do what we gotta do. So basically, you know, my point's more to the fact that you get to a certain point and then you learn how and why certain things need to start off in a specific way, because then when you get to a point like this where you're trying to make a roof go on, that you fight it a little bit less. So having good plans, and not necessarily these plans, but knowing that these plans, if they are done in a specific way with a goal in mind, gets you to a better point, and makes future aspects a lot easier to do. So that's where I'm at right now, is doing all of this fun stuff. So later today I'll make another video, and hopefully I'll have up half or so of the trusses. Basically my trusses are actually crane lifted. We did that a couple of days ago. They were sitting out on my driveway. Right now they're on my main roof, and all I got to do is slide them down, slide them across the walls, and get them into place. I'll put blocking in place too. I can slide them and hit the blocking, and then all I have to do is come over here in the middle and tilt them up into place. So a couple of my goals is I want to cut more blocking so that when I put the truss up, I can hit a block. I may look at, I've got some 2x4s, and you can see over on the other side that I spanned the joists with 2x4s to hold them upright and get everything in about the right place. So the walls are 16 foot center, or 16 inch centers. The trusses are 24 centers. I use my bird blocking to basically set my distance, because the bird blocking is 22.5, so your net result is 24" on center. So I've got that set. I've got to cut the back of this roof off so I can get my last truss to go in place, but I just haven't done that just yet. I was hoping to get more of the roof on. That way with the way the trusses are, I can lean against them, step on them, things like that, cut the back of the roof off, and then have a little bit of safety, I guess, just because I have something to work with rather than a big open void. So we'll work on getting that done. But yeah, you can see here these trusses were made at 19 feet to this bottom piece here. As you can see, there's a horizontal stringer or horizontal base to it, plus the pitch of the roof on the top. And if you measure to the end there, that horizontal piece for those is 19 feet, pretty much dead on. So these trusses were made much the same way, 35/6, but what happens is there's a little bit of a notch to it, which gives you an inch or two, so like an inch per side, maybe an inch and a half. If you're looking at the math, you can see like right here, because of the way the eaves are, the end of that horizontal piece you can see just peeking out there, and these back end ones are 19 feet also with that measurement, because this particular part of the house is 19 feet across.